Welcome to this class. We're going to start standing today. Lily's observing just then. You're going to take your arms up and then they'll just fall down. And as you take them up, maybe they go a little bit wider and you feel a little bit of a stretch down the armpits into the chest muscles. In breath as we lift, out breath as they fall. And then adding on, see how it feels in your body. So maybe a little bit of an arch in the back and there's a double knee bend and you can keep your back straight for now. So a version of the energy swing. As you take the arms up, you also think of reaching up to the ceiling with the heart. 3 more here. And when you've done the last one, arms up and then slowly circle them down. Good work. If you had your feet wider, bring them hip distance and parallel. Raise your heels, lower your heels and bend your knees. So just focusing on this movement through the ankle joint, of course, the knees as well, knees tracking forward. Is your weight even between the legs? And if you're rolling your ankle out, try not to go as high or a little bit more support from the middle by pressing the base of the big toe. Second and third down into the floor. And then we're adding arms in here, raising the heels. And as you plie, you circle the arms. 2 more here. Make sure you don't take the arms behind you, so they're slightly forward of the shoulder. Otherwise, we go into an extension. And then keep the arms up. They're going to drop like a pendulum. One arm in front. And then the other arm in front. And then absolutely, if you want to add the double knee bend, do that. See if you can touch your middle finger overhead without looking. Make this the last one, and then bring the arms down to shoulder height. Left arm out to the side and up into a long side bend. One breath in here. And then domino motion, the arm leads the way. One breath in here. Keep going. One more to each side. And then when you're back in the center, nod, curl, roll the spine down. Roll to where you can with the pelvis upright. Pause for a breath in. And then continue to roll down. Can you keep the weight forward on the feet? Bring the hands to the floor. Eventually relax the upper body. Bend and extend the legs 3 times. And then keep the legs extended. Engage from your center and roll the spine up until you arrive upright. Left arm out to the side again. Into a side bend. This time you stay in your side bend. With the in-breath, feel how the ribs expand. And with the next breath in, we're leaning into our left side and floating the opposite arm up and bring it back to the center. So giving more stretch tension there to the side body. One more time here. And then stay in your side bend. The top arm is going to drop like a pendulum from side to side, keeping the spine stable. And then the next time the arm passes in front, it takes you over to the other side. Twisted roll down. So take the top arm, arc it forward and down, segmental rolling down. The right arm stays active. The left arm is relaxed. Maybe you feel one knee needs to bend a little bit. Pause for a breath in where you feel the biggest stretch across the back of the body. And then fold over the legs, bend the knees deeply, relax the head. 2 more times, bend and straighten the legs. And then keep the legs straight and we're rolling back up. Once you're upright, we're back into an arm arc. Raise the heels. Bring the heels down and plie as you circle the arm. Whoops. 2 more. And when you've done the last one, heels stay grounded, legs straight, arms out to the side. Right arm up into a long side bend to your left. As you breathe in, you lean over to the right and back to the center. Make sure you're just going sideways, so not rotating. One more here. And then when you're back in the center, that top arm is going to drop like a pendulum from side to side. And then the next time, the arm will take you up and over, softening the tissue, nourishing. Bending maybe the right knee a little bit as you reach the top arm forward and down, segmentally rotating. Keep your hips back in space. Right arm can relax. Pause for a breath in. And then bend both the knees, fold over the legs. So center yourself, bend and straighten the legs 3 times. Roll the spine back up. And once you're upright, we go back, arms up, heels up. Lower heels, bend knees. 3 more here. And when you've done the last one, again, we're going to bring the arms out to the side for balance, slightly forward of the shoulder joint. And transfer the weight over to the right a little bit, and then peel the left foot away from the floor. And then we're going to tap and lift, maintaining length in your spine. So how high up can you lift that knee without tucking your bum? Stability in that right leg. You might notice some little micro movements. And we'll go 3 more. When you've done the last one, we're just going to fold the knees next to one another. Bring your hands to the front of the hips or the hip bones, whatever feels more comfortable to you. Your right knee is going to bend and straighten. It's directly forward. Make sure your hip doesn't drop on the other side. And then if you're feeling balanced, and you can add on the next time you bend that knee directly forward, you pivot your pelvis to the left and bring it back to the center. So your pelvis is rotating over and around the head of the femur there, like we do in walking. We're just exaggerating it. Multidimensional strength of these muscles. And when you've done the last one and you've faced forward, you're going to, whoops, extend the leg forward, whatever you need with the arms, and then sweep that left leg back into airplane. By now, you probably feel a little bit of complaining in your right leg. Land the leg down at the back, and you're into a lunge. Distribute the weight more evenly between the legs now. Feel with your hands that the hips are facing forward. As we lower down into a lunge, the arms can lift overhead, and we're aiming to touch the little fingers overhead. Excellent. Just 4 more here. And when you've done the last one, arms can go out to the side for balance. You're going to lower that back knee to the floor, lean forward, hands down at the front, and then shift forward and back a few times here. So the leg's 90 degrees. As you go forward, you allow the knee to travel beyond the toes for 3 more. And then you walk the hands around in line with your back knee. So left hand down, right arm up. Check your legs on 90-degree angle. And then check your bum's not sticking back. So bring the pelvis forward over that back knee. And then the arm's going to reach one to the ceiling, one to the floor, head back in line with the spine. Start to take the arm overhead and notice how that increases the stretch tension in your right side. And then go into a side bend, further increasing that stretch. Oh, feels like I'm clearing cobwebs. Reach the arm forward and down and arc. And feel like the pelvis is curling up to the ceiling. And then arc that arm up, turn the chest, lift the heart. 2 more here. Out breath as you go down. In breath as you go up. And when you've done the last one, the hand will come all the way to the floor. You're going to walk your hands around to the other side of your right foot, softening the tissue we've tensioned. And then square the hands back up. You're going to bring this right heel for you. Oh, like walk it across, walk it across, walk it across into basically we're doing a pigeon pose. So if you want, you can bring the hands forward. You can extend the back leg. If you want, slide it further back. If you feel a stretch in that right hip, then that's it. You're fine where you are. Keep your ankle dorsiflexed on this right side. We're going to lean left and right a few times until you find somewhere you feel a strong stretch. We're pressing the floor down, pulling your chest forward, looking at a spot somewhere in front of you. Just 2 more breaths here. And then carefully, in your own special way, try and come into 4-point kneeling. And then curl into cat. Sit back, angry cat. Center pelvis, elongate spine. And shift forward. Out breath, cat. In breath, angry cat. Out breath. Lengthen the spine, in breath, shift forward. 1 more here. When you've done that last one, 4-point kneeling, tuck toes under. Hover knees. Imagine you're carrying a tray on your back. Stay here, maybe feel the hands pulling apart. The abdominals engaged just enough so keep centeredness through your spine. And then lift the hips up. Inverted V, downward facing dog. Reach the hips back. Length through the spine. Bend your elbows out to the side. Press up and straighten the arms. Just 2 more. Make sure you can see the elbows in your peripheral so they go slightly back. And when you've done the last one, you walk the feet forward. You fold over your legs, turn the palms up, let the arms and the head feel heavy. Extend the legs and then roll your spine up. Until you're back to upright. Allow the arms to feel light as you raise them. Raise the heels. And lower the heels, plie as your arms circle. Two more here. And then the arms stay out to the side. Balance. Transfer the weight to the left side. Peel your right foot away from the floor. And then we lift and lower. So very much focused on your hip flexors here. Abductors on the other side, providing lateral hip stability. Crown of the head reaching up. Last one. Bring the thighs next to one another. Bring the arms down, wherever you had the hands before, but do hold onto front or sides. And then bend and straighten, and the hands help you to feel that the pelvis isn't rotated, that the hips are staying level. Very good. And then you start to add a pivot. So bend the left knee and pivot towards the right. Try to keep the knees the same distance apart. Just 3 more here, sure. And when you've done that last one, you extend the leg forward, you sweep it back out into aeroplane, feel hips level, and then land the leg down into a lunge, raising that back heel, hips forward, ribs above pelvis, eyes forward as you lower down slowly, and then a powerful up. In breath to lower, out to lift. Last three. We've done the last one. Knee comes all the way down to the floor. Bring the hands next to the front foot. And then we shift backwards and forward. When you go forward, that heel stays down. So we do want a bit of tensioning across the Achilles tendon as we go forward. And when you go back, just a generous range, but keeping the toes down. The next time you're in the middle, stay there. Walk the hands around. Right hand down, body distance. Left arm up, check legs 90 degrees. Pelvis above femur. Head back in line with shoulders, with bum. The arm reaches up and over. You lean over towards the floor, so fanning open the ribs to the ceiling. Pause for another breath in. Let the head drape to the floor. And then the arm arcs forward, the ribs, upper spine rotates, but it feels your pelvis curling to the ceiling. Just double check here. It's quite easy to kind of put a lot of weight in your supporting arm. As you curl down, almost make sure that you're leaning towards your legs a little bit more, as if you could do this without the arm weight bearing. Of course it is, but one more here. And when you've done that last one, you walk the hands around to the other side of this foot. Keep reaching your right hip back in space. And then bring your hands forward wide of that foot, and then just walk the foot across to the right hand, keeping the foot flexed, dropping the knee out to the side. Adjust the hands as need be as you lean forward. Maybe you need to wiggle from side to side. Maybe you want to straighten that back leg. Then chest forward, gaze forward of the mat, not collapsing the head down. So very actively with my hands, I'm pulling back and apart a bit. 2 more breaths. And then try and get yourself back in 4-point kneeling. When you're ready, curl cat, angry cat. Center pelvis and spine and return. From the last one, and you're back in 4-point kneeling. Bring the hands a hand distance further forward. Shift your weight forward. Now you're in a kneeling front support, half plank. And there's activity in your center. We certainly don't want to collapse the hips down. A feeling that the hands are pulling apart. You feel width across your shoulder blades. The neck long. Bend the elbows back in space and straighten the arms. Tricep press. And just 2 more. With the last one, you continue all the way down, slowly as much as you can, basically, until you're lying on your front. And then we have the arms out in a goalpost position, ribs underneath you, legs a comfortable distance apart for your lower back, shoulders relaxed. You're going to glide your nose, your chin, your chest forward, come into upper spine extension, pause for a breath in, and then lengthen forward and down. If you feel it in your lower back, maybe when you come up, curl the pubic bone into the floor just a little bit more. And check that you're not over-recruiting your buttock muscles. So our aim is to feel this in the upper back. Yeah. And then absolute optional, if you want to continue forward and up, eventually the arm straightens into a full cobra. And then bend the elbows, chest reach forward, lastly the face arrive. Stick to the one that, I mean, if you're focusing on upper spine mobility, the cobra prep is probably the better one. If you want to go for this long opening at the front, including the hips, then if you can do that without compressing, feeling compressive in the lower back, do the full cobra. That looks good. So I'm going to add on. If it's okay, keep that full cobra, pubic bone into the mat. It feels like I'm pulling my hands back a little bit, subtle. Now bend your left elbow, look over the right shoulder. Keep height. You're looking towards the straight arm side. Straighten both the arms, bend the right elbow, look over the left shoulder. One more in each direction. And then we're going to come back down. You're going to bring your hands underneath your forehead. Soften your ribs. The hip bones are more or less level on the floor. Reach the right leg along the floor. Lift it up, keeping the hip bones level. And then lower that back down. Over to the other side. Slide. It feels like a slide along. And lift, hover, and return. Keep alternating from side to side. In focus our hip extensors. Keeping the spine in its natural alignment. So for me, I'm quite strongly curling pubic bone into the floor. If you want to add on and your lower back is fine, then reach both the legs up. It's not very high. And lower back down with control. Continue. Two more if you're doing the doubles, one to each side if you're doing singles. And then once you release that back down, bring the hands to the side of the chest. Lift back up into 4-point kneeling. Out breath, cold cat. So doing the opposite to the spine, lengthening the back extensors. Shift back, angry cat. Breathe into that angry cat. And then straighten the back, somewhat responsiveness back in the back extensors, and you shift forward. Out breath, cat. Shift back, stay for an extra breath in angry cat. And then lengthen through the spine and shift forward. Just two more here in your own time. When you've done that last one and you face forward into your 4-point kneeling, we're going to slide the left leg back, semicircle that out to the side, and you're in a folded gate pose. So that foot in line with the opposite knee, the outside of the foot rolling down, the angle, whatever feels comfortable in your hip, shifting backwards and forwards. Might feel like a adductor inner thigh stretch. And then we'll add into this. The first one will be slow motion. So stay shifted forward. Reach your left arm forward, up. We're drawing a big circle. As you circle the arm back, shift the hips back. And then shift forward as the arm comes to the floor and forward. And I'll just make it something that feels fluid to you. Make sure it's not just the arm going to the ceiling, but it is your eyes, your neck, your upper spine rotating. Make this the last one. And then bring the hand down. Curl into cat. Sit back, angry cat. Center pelvis. Return. If you want, you can do this on your elbows. So keeping that left leg out to the side. Just one more here. And then come back onto the hands. Bring the foot back. Normal cat, angry cat. Just one in between the two sides. Tuning into what feels different. And then we'll go over to the other side, sliding the right leg back, semicircle it out to the side, roll the outside of the foot down so you have length in the muscles on the outside of the ankle and that lift in your inner foot arch as you shift backwards and forward. Looking really good, Vicky. Nice posture. 3 more here. And just make sure that that left thigh is still vertical. You haven't shifted or abducted basically the leg. And then slow motion, the next time you forward, the right arm reaches forward, turn the chest. You're turning your shoulder socket around your left humerus, really. Shift back as the arm goes down. Continue your own circle, shifting back when the arm goes back. Two more here. When you've done the last one, we'll do one with hands down, curl cat in this folded gate pose. Shift back. Center pelvis and spine, shift forward onto elbows if you did that on the other side. And another couple here. When you've done the last one, back into 4-point kneeling. A cat, angry cat. From 4-point kneeling, tuck the toes under. Feel the hands pull apart, hover the knees, pause. Lift the hips up, inverted V. Length through your spine, and we do 3 press-ups again, elbows wide this time. And opening across the front of your arm bone as the elbows go wide. One last time. Walk the hands back this time towards your feet. And then fold over the legs, bend the knees deeply. Center the legs, and then roll the spine up. Not really center, just elongate. Once you're upright, we go back to light arms floating up as if someone else is lifting them up. Raise the heels. And then back to our grounding plie as you circle in. 2 more here. Like a puppet master. And then keep the legs extended, reach the arms up, lift, arch your upper back, open the arms maybe a bit wider. And then they just fall in, breath to lift. And then return, and now we've warmed up the spine a little bit. So if you choose to, you can go into your energy swing, double knee bend, round the spine this time. In breath, lift, scoop tummy away from thighs. 2 more. Circle the arms down, bring the hands towards the heart. Go to work. Thank you so much for joining.